Live. I thought we were really live. I was on another
And we're
screen.
live.
I was like, that's awesome.
Hey, everyone. You're on the RCGroups live podcast. You're lucky you weren't here 30 seconds ago. Heck, 8 seconds ago.
Thank God.
But Matt Gunn has to live with what he did for the next, I don't know, 2 minutes. Right, Matt Gunn?
Maybe more like 10 seconds. But anyway.
It depends. Disbursement, ventilation. What's happening, Jason
Easy
Cole?
What's up, man? Good time.
Let me ask everyone a question. Did you shave prior to the podcast?
I shaved this morning, if you could tell.
Yeah. And, hey, everyone. Nikolai's here. What's happening, Nikolai?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Listen, are you using a special mic, or does your computer just create such a nice microphonic tone?
That's good microphonic
I'm using
tone.
the laptop mic.
Sounds really good.
Cool.
Nikolai's on an 8-minute lag, so everyone just. All right. So the reason Nick is here is because he was at the Triple Tree Total Eclipse of the Heart fly-in, but we're not going to go there yet. We're going to save that until we get some more live viewers on. So, Matt Gunn, you've been writing news. You've been writing news. I'm clicking on people's faces.
It sounds like somebody's loading a magazine. Do you hear this? It was like.
Oh, that was probably me typing.
No, it was Nikolai. What were you doing, Nikolai?
Loading a magazine?
I was plugging in my Cat 5, so we have a good connection.
So Cat 5 sounds just like a 9mm magazine going in. Anywho,
Cat 9.
Cat 9. It does sound kind of interesting. Yeah, there's some new aircraft out. You want to go ahead and share screen real quick, and I'll show you something?
Yeah, share your screen.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
And for your live users, I'm going to try to see you talking. There we go.
What do you guys think? The Valiant 10cc. This is the middle sibling in the Valiant lineup. You have the Valiant 1.3 meter. I'm sorry, what's the smallest one?
Is it 1.2, 1.3?
1.2, 1.3, something like that. And then you got the big boy Valiant 30cc. So here's a middle road for all you people that don't have giant vehicles and don't want a little foamy.
This is about right, man.
Yeah, balsa built up 69-inch 10cc, ready from the factory to go electric if you so desire. It comes with electric mounts. And look at that. It's fully aerobatic as well. This is a good-looking bird.
And it's got flaps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Look at the nice hinges there. This thing's built well.
I can tell you, I don't get why they call it a 10. Nobody calls a plane this size a 10cc plane.
You know why? They're targeting the 10cc gas motor from, what's the name of it? Let's go over to the site here.
Let me say, Glow is over, man. It's all about gas motor.
No, Glow's still happening, but I mean, it's like this is
what they're after.
Like a 50 size airplane is what you would call it.
Right, but they want to try to sell their Evolution 10cc gas engine. See here,
right.
So they are. I guess that was some clever marketing.
It's just what I would buy. I mean, I would go gas. I wouldn't. I was an Irvine 50 guy. I still have Irvine 50 parts right over there. Yeah.
Am I just out of touch with Glow? Like that? I haven't done it in a while, but it's like, is it that low of usage now these days? I thought it was still really popular.
You can't. I couldn't give away a say. Oh, I better not say it. Anyway, yeah, it's all called gas. It's all called gas.
Yeah. Just like me before we
went
live.
Gas for that small of a plane.
Yeah, it's pretty dang small.
Well, you get some really good flight times with that. I mean, that 10cc Evolution is pretty stingy on gasoline, so you probably get much longer than nitro. I would assume you're not turning the R's.
$20 a gallon.
Yeah, you're just mixing fuel. Right. So, but the reality is, I'd just go electric. I'd put a.
How much is that engine, by the way? I'm just curious.
Evolution 10cc.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it myself.
Let's see.
It's not in there.
Here we are, $199.
It's $200. Hey, that ain't too bad.
Not too bad. You get some. I mean, you really do get good flight time with it. And look at that giant prop you can spin, man. You can spin a 13.8 with a basically a size of a 60 size motor. You know.
Yeah. So
right.
Josh says in the chat that 10cc motors are expensive and haven't been reliable from what he's seen.
Oh.
Well,
I don't know.
You didn't say his last name. That's Josh Sato that said that.
Hey-o.
And then John Irvine is on there too.
Nice. So decent looking rig.
I guess Horizon could send us one, and we could report on the reliability of it. Huh?
Yeah, definitely.
That could happen. That could happen.
You know what's interesting? Somebody commented, I would like to see this plane the same color as the 30cc plane. Well, guess what? The 30cc plane is the exact same color. So the only thing is that the leading edge isn't red. Let's go to the 30cc and show you.
It's more, yeah, it's a little bit different, right?
It's still red and white.
Oh, it's gray.
Well, I tried. Look at that. I mean, it's
gray
got
and red
on the side.
Pretty
womp,
close.
womp, womp. So good looking plane. Comes set up for floats as well. You can put some floats on it, and that looks really nice, don't you think, guys?
Yeah, it's a good looking airplane, that's for sure.
It looks like a FPV plane to me. Scale FPV.
Oh wow, stuff the camera right in there. And then we also have let's sit back here. Jason, I don't know about this little thing, but I think it looks kind of cool. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I just thought it was neat. I found it searching around, and I was like, hey, this is like newsworthy article. But here's the downfall of it is, so okay, just to give you everybody the premise, it's a smartphone controlled plane. These guys make other planes, biplanes and things. This is for.
Yeah, but hold your hemming and hawing, Jim. You got to see this. This is kind of interesting.
I've never flown any smartphone, anything that was.
Look at this.
Yeah.
It's got a thumb joystick. So
I've actually had my hand on one of those, and I had a pair of them.
That's cool.
And it does work. So
yeah.
So I thought this was interesting because it's a smartphone controlled airplane. So it's got a 100-meter range, which you can't go very far away.
Backyard.
So it's like a gymnasium or backyard machine.
Yeah, but then it's got they've got their own branded video goggles, but it's the exact same as the Eachine EV800s that I reviewed.
Oh, yeah.
And they're at 5.8 gigahertz, so it must be transmitting. It probably has a little 25 milliwatt 5.8 FPV system in there. So that's going to work really well and be really low latency for you can actually fly it. I see a lot of things advertised as FPV, virtual reality flight, and all this stuff, and it's like Wi-Fi. Yeah. And there's like a 3-second delay, and it's like you can't fly this FPV really. But this one is a real deal FPV system, apparently.
Look at that elevator position right there. This thing is about to go straight in.
I cannot believe they got the editor of Model Airplane News in that ad.
There you go. Oh, is that? Oh,
looks like
what's her name? Yeah, similar. Now here's another cool thing. So it's got a flight stabilization board inside. So it'll self-level and all that stuff, but it's got a hover, like helicopter mode, where it'll pop it up vertical and auto hover, and there's no multi-rotor, right? It's just a single prop, and it'll actually whatever, and I think it rotates.
I like that. That would be handy.
Like auto torque roll. It's just kind of interesting.
Almost be like a loiter mode on a bigger bird.
Yeah, look at that. They must be shooting with a Mavic because look at that, Jason.
There it is.
There it is. There's Deborah.
Hey, Deborah, happy birthday.
All right, so there's the feed right there. You know what? Not bad. Oh, right.
Holy cow.
Like the old days. Remember those old...
Flew it off their balcony. That's pretty brave.
I think this is probably cooler than, it's obviously not a full-fledged FPV system and thing but it's probably cooler than you might think.
This is something you get on Sky Mall. Right?
Yeah.
It's like
I was guessing on the price because their biplane without an FPV system, all that stuff sells for $50. Yeah. So I was guessing 100 to 150, and then somebody chimed in on the thread and said Best Buy is going to have them, and it's going to be $300.
What the?
What do you guys think about that price?
Negatory.
Are those people advertisers? I guess they're not. Where did you see this?
I found it just searching around the internet, the interwebs.
All right, let's move on because that just killed it for the price. Shout out to Castle Creations and their new Mamba X. This thing is beef. If you're into 1/8 scale buggy racing, check out the Mamba X with this really nice 3S and 4S compatible system on here. And just like everything Castle Creations, you have really good setup with their Castle programming.
Steve Clint and Kate, if you see them at a show, be sure to say hey from RCGroups. Jason Cole, don't you have a Castle buggy waiting in the wings?
No, you got a rock crawler set up, don't you?
I've got the rock ray from Horizon, and Castle's supposed to be sending me some of their new censored brushless motors.
I saw that thing. It looks fabulous.
Looks awesome, but I guess we're just waiting on inventory, so I don't have it yet.
As a Novak centered brushless guy from crawling, they work really well. So let's move right on to the Horizon Hobby E-Flight Expert.
I'm pretty excited. This review is live, I have to say. Look at that Expert floating above the ground, Jason. That's pretty.
That is pretty hot right there. So,
and there's no RCGroups logo because it's actually on the Expert itself.
Twice.
You know what? I like that.
Yeah.
I thought you had bent it around there a little and you were getting crazy. So
that's for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this should take up. Look at this. I'm gonna give you an
my name
epic
is
bang.
GT Graham.
how y'all doing?
Hi, y'all.
Hey, I did find a great. I'm gonna move my computer over here. Maybe I did find a great use for the prop guards.
Yeah.
Where is it? There it is. You can see it hanging on the wall.
Hold on. I gotta switch back. Are you guys on me or are you off this?
No, I think
we're still watching you.
All right, let's stop.
I'm watching this live right now at 1:44.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
Can you see me? Okay, so there you go.
I cannot see your head, Jason.
You can see the Expert hanging on the wall.
Okay, I got you.
It's hanging by the prop guards, and it just looks like it's just hovering there. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
That is quite a good. Your room is getting packed.
I've got too many things. There's too many airplanes.
I must commend you though on a clean setup. My room looks like the trash heap.
We're looking at your head right now, not Jason's.
How so? I've got it set to Jason.
I'm looking at the live feed this week for our live viewers to see what the live people are seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at that too. Anyway, okay, we'll come back to me. We'll go back into screen share and we'll hit
so
this. Hey, y'all, I'm talking on live with Jason and this Jimbo, and we gonna.
Yeah, even though it says it was on me, it actually wasn't. That's interesting.
This is the longest video ever, but it includes everything, including the guitar tech for the hit country music band Lone Star was in the field, and now it's on Nikolai's head. What are you doing, Matt?
What are you talking about? Oh yeah, I'm looking over.
I saw you laughing too in the background.
Oh,
this is watching it live. It's a whole new experience. I got to tell you, live.
Here we go. All right, I'm gonna stay right here.
Right? Am I watching it live? Oh, I'm not. Okay. All right. Now I'm watching live.
Are you behind? Oh my goodness.
I was 100% behind. But we have the guitar tech from Lone Star, who is, you could tell, wanting to fly this airplane. And so in the video, we actually cut away and he flies it. He's never flown one before. Takes the sticks. That's him right there. And he flew just like Jason and I flew it. I mean, he was natural. He went out and ordered one that day to take on the road.
This guy. That's some good fancy camera work going on. Look at this. Here we go.
I said go hard to half throttle and get it off the ground. That's a tip. That's pro tip right there for y'all. Go half throttle and get it out.
Get it out of the ground effect. That's the worst thing you can do is just hover in the ground effect.
So now he's going, yeah. He's a little right, a little left, a little rudder here, a little rudder there. And then
I gotta buy one of these things.
I said, now flip the switch and transition into wing mode. And it should happen now.
Here we go. Uno momento. Here we go. Back to the sticks. And Jim's like, switch.
Now,
you did a good job with it.
Now.
And there you go.
Switch it.
Now.
No.
3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Now. You're live, man. Switch now.
And
there we go. Okay. Switch.
There you go. And that's how, and then I lose the shot. That's how easy the transition is. So really the video is over 20 minutes long.
That's hilarious.
We'll bail on the video. How about that? We'll come on back in here. We're not sharing any longer, are we?
Nope.
I think we're good.
He did crash it on landing, and I crashed it in the grass
Call that a
too.
crash.
But it didn't, nothing happened.
Yeah, I will say people think it's an auto landing. It's not really an auto landing. If there's any kind of wind, it's going to push it. And so as you're coming down, if all you do is chop the throttle, it's going to come down, with some momentum, and it's going to hit and tip over. So you have to still fly it to the ground. So if you're in the wind, you're going to want to tilt forward and land it down and control the landing all the way to the bottom. So there isn't an auto landing, just so you know.
There is a kill switch Look at this. I'm actually controlling the shots now. Very nice. Everyone needs to hear about how we're controlling the background of the video. But there's a switch on the right, and when you land, you can flip it, and it'll kill those props, and then it won't tend to pull itself forward or back, and then you can stop it. And then you hit the bind button to fire them back up, and off you are going.
Off you are going.
Let's go back
mission.
I'm going to present you, Matt. Let's go back and look at that news article a little bit more.
You got it. All right, so we're back in. Let me see. Stop that right there. Look at that pretty shot.
And now there we go. Yes, yes.
I must say that RCGroups logo looks pretty dang good right there.
You're not presenting yet, though.
It says you are presenting to everyone.
Is anyone else presenting?
Ladies and gentlemen, technical
I just
difficulty.
see your video.
Still on you,
I
Maddie.
just see your webcam.
What? Okay. Do you have it now?
No. It's on you, face.
I'm
It's on
confused.
your
Let me
face.
stop this real quick. Okay, here we are. Stop. And we're heading back into screen share. Share with everyone.
There you go.
There
Ooh,
we
yeah.
go.
All right,
Now you're presenting.
ladies and gentlemen, Google is not all it's cracked up to be at times.
I can't get my bottomer to work, and there's zero reason to
Your
for that.
bottomer, your lower
my lower
third.
third. Yeah.
There you go.
So
All right.
anyway, just to go over it, and somebody said they wanted to hear a real person post on this. I want to state I'm real, but iFlyOS said he really enjoyed flying it too as a third party. So literally, we picked him up. I had not flown mine since I was at Horizons Field. It was just a normal outside day, nothing crazy, and we put a camera up, and then Jason and I flew all around the camera and went into wing mode and did all kinds of stuff. Right, Jason?
Yeah, man, it's a good time. I mean, like I said, I've said it probably before on this podcast, but I was skeptical, and once you fly it, it completely turns you around, and you'll love it. So, good on them.
Yep.
Is this what's on the front here? Is this covered with anything? It looks like it's got some sort of tape
Just foam.
over it.
Just
Oh,
foam.
okay.
But with the prop guards, only the tip of your nose. In fact, we crashed one with the camera on it at Horizon. That camera never saw or got near the ground. So that was a big fear I had, that the camera would eat it when you went to the ground. But
Hey, this is the same battery that I use on the Torrent 110. 2S800. That might be why they were in short supply when it was time for me to get.
Yeah.
Mine. Oh,
Well, I
yeah.
need to order
cheap.
some.
I'm sure they sold boatloads of them.
Let me ask you something, Jason. Do
Yeah.
you think? Oh, there we are. Do you think 1,000? I was going to say CC battery would fit in there. Or do you think that would be
MAH.
It depends on the battery. Like I've got a 950 that I have that fits. It's exactly the same size, and it may not be an actual 950, but it says it is.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so yeah, a bigger battery will fit in there. You just have to worry about the CG. You've got a little bit of room to play with forward and aft. What some people are saying is that when you add, I heard some people complaining about them able to get the CG with even an 800 in it.
Yeah, I heard
I'm
that
like,
too.
well, it was really easy for us, and it wasn't even at the rear of the battery bay for me, and it balanced out perfectly fine. But then once you add on the FPV camera and stuff, that's going to add even more nose weight.
Right.
So you're either going to have to use a smaller battery or move it all the way back, see if it works, or add some tail weight possibly. We won't know this until we actually get a hold of the FPV unit.
When's the
ourselves.
FPV equipment going to show up?
I haven't heard a peep on it yet, so I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, it
What
happens,
did
I
they
guess.
say? Do they ever have dates on their stuff when it's out of stock?
Hey, by the way, they have a new guy popping up for when you go to Horizon's site, and it says "Speak to a live person."
I was literally thinking about that this morning.
Hey,
About
it's in stock right
That's all
now,
right.
y'all. Everybody.
all right, time to contact our contact.
The FPV camera mount with servo expert, all that stuff's in stock now.
Shall we move on to the next?
Yes, it's awesome. We love ours. We wouldn't be without him. I've named mine. His name is Victor. Yeah, name my expert.
Oh yeah, so here we go. We're gonna move on to quickly the FMS F7F Tiger Cat. It's been around for some good going months now. They just had a contest over at Horizon Hobby to win one, and when I saw that, unfortunately, I missed a chance to put the contest up on RCGroups. So I thought, well, we haven't done a Tiger Cat article yet. Somebody is pinging us.
That was me.
All right.
That thing's super bad, man.
Isn't it nice? Now, this is the larger of the two. There's a 1600 mil version, And there's the 1700. So you got almost 2 meter plane here. This is a really nice looking aircraft.
We haven't had our hands on one. I'm just saying it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that is correct. And then moving right along, we have simmer down now.
I just want to say, someone at our club had one of those. Oops. Yeah, and someone at our club had one of those, and they flew really nice, looked really good in the air.
I bet. Now that would be a good FPV rig, huh?
Oh, I don't know.
For scale. Very small cockpit, so I don't know about fitting all your stuff in there. But it takes a 6S 5000 stuffed in there, and it weighs up.
Tip stolly.
No, it cannot. Here's our Fusion Extreme FPV race quad setup that me and Joe did, and he did this review as a beginner and marketing it towards beginners. And I think he did a pretty darn good job of his video. I think he's banging it around.
It's good looking.
Yeah, he's doing some mild. Hey guys, Mean Joe V here. And
hey guys, Mean Joe V here.
Mean as they come, junkyard dog. He let's see. Here he is. He's shooting. I missed a gate. Here he comes. He's gonna say, "Watch out, Joe!" Right, he did it. He's in. Whoa! Yeah. Anyway,
I'm going to.
He's learning. He's doing. Look at that one. It's got some wind.
Look where you want to go. Don't look where you don't want to go.
That's right. So pro tip.
Pro tip.
Jason, these are my new favorite things that
aren't they
have.
Cool?
Somebody said they probably fly better sideways than they do.
Yeah.
On a knife edge, they just auto knife edge. You don't even have to hold anything.
It's the dead fish.
So the names are funny. Of course, you called it Nemo, but didn't they change? Did they call it
Nino and Nori?
Nino. So you called it Nemo.
Oh my gosh.
Here. You better change that, Jason.
No. I look at the end. I said Nemo, the clownfish, and Blue Tang Dory, and then I said Nino and Nori, as Hobby King puts it.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. All right,
I always want weirdo airplanes like this.
Because it's obvious. Yeah, dude. When we go to drive-in movies, I always bring something. Usually in my paraglider with Woody, flying it from Toy Story, and all the kids just go nuts. It's such a fun thing. These would get everybody would go crazy, especially if it was for a new Finding Dory or Finding Nemo movie that came out.
Yeah,
it would be so fun.
Somebody said they look tail heavy. That's like, no, man, that's just how you gotta fly. That's how they gotta fly. Look at that angle of attack just to keep it airborne.
It's a flat plate plane. It's like the Mini GB.
$26 for the kit. It's
do they have it in the U.S.? How long would it take me to get one?
I don't know. I know they're for sale. They have them in stock, but I don't know what warehouse.
Is that with motors and stuff?
No. You got to supply your own motor servo. 4 servos, 4 like 9-gram servos.
I have so much of that crud laying around right now.
2204 or 2206, 2208, 2212.
My motor bin is full. If you buy one, maybe I'll buy one, Jason.
Yeah, I've got everything I need. I'm seriously considering it. I'm going to get Dory or Nori.
I don't care.
Nori.
They say.
Flory. And yeah, not a bad setup here, guys. I like this.
All right, well, I'm gonna place an order right now.
So we're gonna head back out. I think we covered a little amount here. Hey, Nick, you like this FMS Super Scorpion, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
Sexy.
So the original one was a 70 mil. They've pumped it up to a 90 millimeter 12 blade EDF. Apparently, they say the sound of this thing is super sexy to your ears, and it looks good too. Look at that. That is a great looking jet. It reminds me of the movie Cars.
Nice color.
They are available in the U.S. warehouses. Yeah, FYI.
Oh, the Ori and Flemo.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go back to my motor pile and see what I got back there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I'm heading out. Let's see. Stop. And here we are. We're back.
All right. Well, I know what time it is.
It's time to get ill. Is that no?
This is
Jason, don't ever do that again.
Oh, by the way,
take off, y'all.
before we go into this, I wanted to bring up the Eclipse. So we're in Nashville, Jason and I, and the wife. I heard her on the phone saying we were just going to go in the yard when it was supposed to happen, and then our neighbors were like, "Oh, come over and drink champagne." And so we loaded up the kids and all the chairs. I got in the Cadillac and motored 3 blocks away, and it was insane. It was like nature really flexing her muscle. It was. We have a video of us watching it as it got dark. So it got dark enough for all the street lights to come on.
Yeah.
Birds, the cicadas started cicadaing, and kids. I don't remember this in my memory. All the kids are screaming.
That's awesome.
Jason,
So,
you were on the lake. Tell us about what it was like.
yeah, we've been on the lake, and there was a lot of people around, and people on the shore. Everybody was out there, and I think my wife was like, okay, so it was amazing, right? It's complete full totality for like 2.5 minutes. It's crazy. It goes completely dark. You can see the moon with your naked eye. We were in a boat with a couple of friends, and just everybody was going nuts and screaming.
Let me just recap. Y'all were naked in a boat.
And you could see it. You could see the nakedness with your eyes. Is that where we're going?
I think
speaking of a full moon,
the traffic. I mean, my wife talked to her family like afterwards, and she was like so ecstatic about how cool it was to see, and they were all, yeah, it was pretty cool. We had to keep our glasses on the whole time because they were only like 90% totality in Alabama, and she didn't get at first how lucky we were to be in the area where it was completely full, because it's a night and day literal experience from being in totality to just being off a little bit.
Like Memphis, they were saying, was a total letdown.
Yeah, and talk about total letdown in Cleveland, Ohio. It was just like daylight, but slightly weird. Everything it was like sun, but it wasn't hot when it was hitting you. It was very awkward.
Yeah, it's almost not even worth watching unless you're in the full totality zone. So luckily, we get another one in 2024 that's going to come through.
Cleveland. It's coming right across.
Path. Yeah, it'll be a different path, but over the United States.
I'm going to Matt's house.
Yeah,
buddy. I'm pulling your photos up now, Nick. But let me ask you this real quick, though, Jason. Yeah, if you want to share your screen and get over there and then control it yourself, that'd be great. Jason, you know, I'm very careful with my eyes. I use them for, you know, more than a few things. But at totality, or as one of the young kids said, the quote from one of the little kids was, "I can't believe we have glasses. We can stare right into the apocalypse now."
Oh, man.
But
kids say the darndest things.
During the totality, I actually glanced up and saw the black with the gold ring around the edge, like you've seen before, but I guess I never realized what those logos or images were of. And I looked at it twice, like flash.
Why was it just twice? I mean, you can stare at it the whole 2.5 minutes that it's in totality.
My wife will make fun of me, but I read a story about two kids in 1968 who looked at the eclipse and then they blinded themselves.
Well, they blinded themselves either before it was totally eclipsed or after it was totally eclipsed. But during, it's completely safe to look at.
Didn't seem worth it to me.
Yeah, so. we stared at it the whole time. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was sweet.
All right, so brother Nikolai, I'm handing it off to you. Tell everyone where you went, why you were there, and then there's awesomeness to follow.
All right. Yeah, you guys see my pictures?
Yeah.
Okay, so as we said last week, I went to Triple Tree. They had a special flying event, full scale, and it was awesome. I hadn't been to a big full scale event before, so it was neat seeing all the guys flying. And this is the view once I picked out a camping spot. We're down by the 3D lake here, and this is where we set up. So this is my view that I got to just chill in my chair and watch the planes come in. They were coming in from the left here, and there was all kinds of stuff. This let me go to this one. Brothers. So this was during totality, or not during totality, but just before it. But you can see just how many planes were parked. So the whole area around the lake, all through behind the 3D grounds, was all filled with planes. And then up to totality, they were parked two or three deep. Yeah, it was crazy. They said they had about 400 planes were registered to land, so it was packed. You know, you got RVs, you got all kinds of different planes, some ultralights, and I think that was another RV there. There's another ultralight.
I like that.
A couple guys pushing their cub into spot.
So did a lot of people just come in for the day and leave afterwards, or were a lot of people camping out?
Yeah, so I got there Sunday at about noon, and at that time there was only about 90 planes had arrived. And they were steadily flowing in throughout the whole evening. There was probably close to 200 by the end of that day. And then on Monday, they were flowing in nonstop, and they were parking them out in that field in the main 3D field. So they were there. You know, I would say a good half of them were there just for the day, that until totality. And then once totality hit, they were all in line to get out ASAP.
I saw some of the lineups of the general aviation airports. The worst one was like a mile long of airplanes all idling, trying to get their chance to take off. It was crazy.
Was it complete totality there?
Yes.
It was awesome.
We actually have really amazing Eclipse pictures coming up.
Yep. So this plane is Mike Kennedy from Plane Repo. He was actually
parked,
he was actually parked about 150 feet from me, so I got to see him. It was cool. And then I couldn't resist taking a picture of this cute little bubble plane. I don't know what it's called, but
that's the one that I stood next to at Oshkosh and took my picture that I wanted it.
Little sport pilot, yeah.
It's a Czechoslovakian
beautiful, beautiful 195 here. Flew in, all polished up. Had a Yak 52 flying. He was right near where we were camped. And we had this guy. They were directing him to his parking spot, and his right gear collapsed. So about 50 people grabbed the wing and lifted it up so he could get it mounted up.
Wow.
And then time to call the AMP.
Yeah. And we had a nice triplet of Cubs that flew in formation. That was cool to watch. And two of them were the older ones, and this one on the left was a brand new one. He was showing me all the new avionics that he stuffed into it. It was nice. This is a OV-10, or the civilian version of the OV-10.
Yeah, it's not an OV-10.
It's not?
Heck no. That's oh my gosh, what's the twin pusher Cessna?
Matt Gunn's the king of this, by the way.
Oh my God, I'm having a I'm sorry.
Something.
Yeah, Skymaster.
Skymaster, that's it.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. And we got a real nice Waco, newly restored. It's a 1950 something.
Wow, that's hot.
Brand newly restored. Yeah, it was beautiful.
I bet it sounds good too.
It did.
I may have to just pop back in.
Nice little sunset shot here.
Right back.
Okay. And then we also had a DC-3 flying. I didn't get any good pictures of it because it landed as I was trying to find a spot for the Eclipse, and then it took off right after the Eclipse.
Did it bring in like 25 people?
I don't know. I didn't see them unload, but there is a small pile of people sitting under it, so I assume they all came with it.
That would be the friend you'd want, because everywhere you go, he'd be like, hey, you want to go with me to blah, blah? I mean, how would you not put 25 people in that thing?
Yep.
I'd hire stewardesses, the whole deal.
And so here I'm up. So for the Eclipse, I actually found a spot up on the main Jonell, flight line under that pavilion. And so this was after the Eclipse, and the line of them all trying to get out. And here you can see the line. So they strung the line back behind the bathrooms, to the end of the lake.
Holy moly.
And into the end of the runway. So a lot of them were sitting there for a long, long time.
At that point, you just look at that Mitsubishi MU-2 right up front there, 54 Papa Charlie. Those aircraft are notorious. They have I think a total of 15 to 20 separate fuel valves. There's like different branches and stuff, and that is the main failure point for that aircraft. If a MU-2 goes down, it's 90% of it, from what I've heard, is that it has such a complicated fuel system, and any one of those fuel check valves and branches and things like that get screwed up, and that's what causes them to fall out of the sky.
Huh.
How I know that, I'm not sure. I think it's from my general aviation days.
I was going to say, thank you, Aviation Wikipedia.
Pro tip number 3.
Thanks. Look at that.
Yeah. So,
hey, did you get that satellite going by? Was that your photo?
No, that was the International Space Station.
Oh,
yeah,
somebody grabbed that one, man. That was nice.
So after I got my equipment set up, got it focused, this is my test shot to make sure my focus was all set before I nailed it down. And you can see the sunspots here.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, the sunspots are typically in pairs because that's where the plasma arcs.
Oh, cool.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So then you can see the first little nibble. This is the first contact here. And then slowly progresses across.
This is the Death Star.
It's like a Nilla wafer.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't get to see those because I was on the lake.
Oh, yeah.
This is the shadows it's produced. This was a couple of minutes before totality.
Truman, no one noticed it, and Truman said, "Hey, look at this!" And then we're with like 20 people, and then they're everywhere.
And then all of a sudden, Dark Side of the Moon starts playing. Everybody's tripping out.
Yep. So something else I got to experience besides these crescent shadows was shadow snakes. Did you guys see those?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I didn't know they existed until this media sensation thing was happening. But I saw a video of it, which is when the sun begins to come back. It starts doing that wavy shadow thing, almost like being underwater.
It was really interesting. A photographer that I met earlier in the day told me to watch for him, and sure enough, about 30 seconds to a minute before totality, I looked down on the concrete, and there's all these shadowy sine waves rippling about. It was awesome.
I
it's
totally
impossible to get a picture of, but it was really, really cool. So then we go into the totality. So these are Bailey's beads, or what you see here. These little flares.
Yeah, you got some solar flare too, huh?
Yep.
That's awesome.
This is a huge flare. If you look at the size of that, it's ginormous.
That'll take out your GPS on your.
That's almost as big as RCGroups.com, the world's largest and most active
solar flare.
Solar flare.
So this is probably my favorite picture I've ever taken. I still have a bunch to process, but this one came out really, really nice. And those beads of light are caused by the actual craters in the mountains of the moon. The original surface is just cutting up the surface.
You learn something new every day. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. And then this is the diamond ring phase. And then we have totality here.
That's awesome.
I saw.
And then this is our totality, and this is a different exposure. It shows this is Mercury or Mars, one of the planets.
Yeah.
There's actually three or four planets were lined up.
Yeah, I saw that when I was looking at my star map. It was a little diagonal line of planets. Pretty cool.
I saw a star as soon as we had totality.
Good stuff, man.
So that's all the pictures I've got right now. I've got a bunch more to process, but I'm going to get these at least up into RCGroups so I can share them with everybody.
Later that day, I looked outside and I was like, wait, is it happening again? It was getting dark outside, and then it was night, and I was like, whoa.
I told Truman when dusk came, I said, Truman, another eclipse, and he thought that was hilarious and used it over and over again.
It must be dad humor right there.
As the sun was setting, it was really pretty sunset, and it was sitting on the horizon. Just a nice red ball before it went in, and I was looking at the sun. I'm like, man, you've had a long day, haven't you?
Yeah.
You had a lot going on today.
A good picture of the sunset as I was driving home. I caught one, so I'm gonna add that too.
Did you get to see Mark or Mr. Pat while you were there?
I saw him on his golf cart, but I didn't get a chance to say hi.
All right. Well, that was pretty awesome. Was there any RC airplanes in the air, or is that totally not okay when there's full scales?
So funny story about that. I messaged Facebook. I messaged Ecliple on Facebook to ask about that, and they said small stuff, below tree line, away from the runway would be okay, as well as night flying was planned. Mm-hmm. So I get there and I double check with them because I didn't want to, make anybody upset. And I talked to Rob or somebody that was on the board, and he double checked and he said, nope, no RC at all, but you can do night flying up by the vendor row area by the hangar at night. So luckily I didn't take a lot with me. I took like a couple quads I was going to play with. But
it would have been awesome for that. The expert.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. People just don't want their planes getting damaged by RC.
Yep.
That's understandable. So let's look. Those were great pictures, man. I'm glad you rented that lens. What was
That's
that?
good work, dude. Heck yeah.
Was that a 700?
It was a 600.
600 millimeter lens. You just cannot get a, well, you can, but that is an incredible rental. What does one of those run new?
About $1,200.
$1,200. That's it?
Yeah.
I paid $1,200 for my 7200. Is it a prime?
No, it was a 150 to 600.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good price then. I was thinking it'd be like 12,000.
No,
I guess not.
No, but still, it was a good chance to get to use the lens. I've been thinking about getting a bigger one for aviation photography, so I got to try this one out. And I might try the Nikon one out too, because the Sigma lens kind of the zoom rotation was opposite of my Nikon lenses. It screwed me up every time I tried to use it.
Hey everyone, I want to
pictures.
share something here. So, first I want to say, if you have an event and you want it featured on RC Groups for Flying Giants, all you got to do is shoot one of us an email, and we will make that happen and turn it into a feature story. So, are you seeing my screen? I feel like you're. There we go.
No, yeah, we got it.
All right. So, this is an event in Finland. It is these scaled jets. This is so scale that I really, Matt, after you said all his jets look real, I reread the story to make sure these weren't scale. These weren't real jets.
Yeah, he did a great job. He's laying down on the ground and getting down on to make the scale seem accurate. Yeah. And it's just amazing because you take these jets, which are, I mean, I could not spot a RC anything sticking off of these. I don't see any servo horns. I don't see anything on the bottom of these wings, and they look 100% scale. They look like the real jets. And he's got a great. He's using he's not using a shallow depth of field, so it doesn't make it make it look miniaturized or anything. Now some of these shots are amazing.
Larcy. This just goes to show you when somebody says, "Hey, would you like some photos of our show?" I never say no. I always do. But then he uploads them, and then you get this, and it's like, holy smokes.
I think there's some sort of MiG in here. I don't want to say, maybe it's a MiG-21, but I think there's a MiG that looks exceptionally real toward the end. I could be wrong of what the make is on it, but
look at that.
Messerschmitt. He's diving in. A lot of BAE Hawks, huh? That's a popular.
A lot of Hawks.
I think all the shots are gear down because that's the only time you can get a good shot.
I know, because they are cooking.
Well, we're at Jonal, man. Unless they're doing some kind of slow pass, it's just like,
yeah. Or it's a Havoc making 5 mile an hour passes with dragging the flights.
This looks like the girl I made.
I was gonna say, I'm waiting for that helmet to turn and it'd be a girl smiling at you.
It's a recreation.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, hey, kudos to the photographers. Apparently, this is 2 photographers that are shooting this. That's a Starfire. Is Starfighter?
Man, it's got like no wing.
Wow,
it looks like the fuselage of a Chinook.
It really does. That is not a very agile aircraft.
That yak he's in love with.
Oh yeah.
They make those models really large. Like that yak is like literal quarter scale.
Hey, I have an off-topic. I tell stories occasionally that aren't RC related, and I only tell the good ones. So I had lunch with a friend of mine coming into town for the Eclipse, Kent Boozer. And I had lunch with he and his wife, and he goes, "Hey, you remember that time?" And I'd totally forgotten about the story, so I'm going to share it with y'all. I think at least Matt Gunn read this on Facebook.
I did.
So in college, all of us had motorcycles, and I rode a Katana 1000. And I had a friend, Scooter Broyles, and Scott's dead now. And he was my roommate, and so we would get out and just ride around campus. And so we remembered there was I forget the fraternity, but it wasn't like the coolest of it was like the smart guy fraternity. They were having a party on a lower apartment. So Scott and I decided to visit them. And so what we did is we pulled up to the back door of the kitchen door, and I put my tire on the back door, and I popped my clutch, and popped that back door open like I'd have killed somebody if they were standing in front of it. And everyone's in the kitchen drinking, and it's me and Scott, and we pull our motorcycles into this kitchen, and we're revving them up, clutching. Now, people are looking at us like, what are you doing? And so then we'd already talked about what we were going to do. We front brake it, and I've hit the throttle, and we're white smoking the tires in the kitchen. And then I'm yelling, open the door, open the door. And there's like, at this point in time, you see people in the living room now looking, their heads pop out of nowhere. They're looking down the hall like, what is going on in the kitchen, you know? And so when I yell, open the door, somebody I know throws the front door open, and we let go, and we fly down the hallway, go through the living room of the party that's going on, and then fly out the front door and never come back.
Wow.
And he goes, you remember that? And I was like, I totally forgot I did that. He goes, you owe my mom $150 because you melted that linoleum floor with
I was going to say the linoleum was going to have to be replaced. Stories like that you just can't make up.
I have a vague memory of either I paid his mom and Scott always laughed at me when I told him he should, or Scott paid his mom and I always laughed at Scott when he said I should pay. I forget who was the payer in that end of the story, but there's your not RC story that I forgot about.
For a man that takes calculated risk, that sure was risky.
No, there was no calculation in those days. I've almost was killed a lot. So Jason ordered that airplane. So that means we'll go see that fly. He and I'll go at the field and shoot a little video of that when that happens. And I have the Commander on its way, I guess. I'm not sure if it's in the mail or not. I don't know why it wouldn't be.
We got to hit the field sometime soon so I can get some footage of the fun glider, by the way.
I just went outside to turn the water hose on, and it is beautiful out there. It's not invasively hot.
Yeah, it's finally cooling down here, too.
Same here. It's got to be, 65 here? It feels good. So I put the crock pot on. I got some good
10
food.
to 15 here the next couple days.
Yeah, that's not good.
Matt, I was waiting on the expert video to be approved, and so that went out yesterday. What else do we have that people should be watching for?
My Cessna should be coming out. It's done. It's finished.
So Jason did the Carbon Z Cessna, which is on floats and off floats. So we shot it at the field, and then we shot it at the lake. That's when we were harassed by a guy in a state pickup truck. And so that's done, and that's sent her way, right, Jason? No, yeah, it's not done.
Did you send it to her?
I'm pretty, yeah. I don't know.
I thought you sent
I sent it to you saying I was finished.
Yeah, I'm sure I did. And if not, I'll check. But I'll double verify. How about that?
Double verification.
What else we got out there?
I got the Inductrix FPV Pro coming, so that'll be a fun little review. I enjoyed doing the Tiny Whoop review last year. Was it last year? Yeah. So that's pretty much it, I think, right now.
I restrained myself on that. Nikolai has a transmitter from Hobbico and a drone coming to him. What are those two things you got going, Nikolai?
It's the Tactics 6 something, and then
660,
the
650.
new Rise Fusion.
650. Gotta get this right, man. You can't say Tactics 6 something.
650.
I was not prepared. But I've also got the Tower Hobbies Ryan STA on my workbench, so I'm going to start building that over the weekend.
Nice. All right, so there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. And summer isn't over. You know, it got hot enough to be too much, but I think we're about to hit the sweet spot again.
Well,
hopefully.
It doesn't there's no real sweet spot here. It just turns off and then it's like blizzard. So not looking forward to that.
I've got Nashville coming up at the end of September. So if you're in the Nashville area at the last weekend of September, we're having Nashville in a big field right next to Justin Timberlake's house. He owns the property next door now. And Mike Wolf from American Pickers literally lives up the street, and usually he'll stop by and say hello. And 1 year, Willie Nelson did a show in the pasture next to ours. So you never know.
You never know what you're going to get.
One night I went to go eat. I walked literally from the field. You can walk to Puckett's, and at Puckett's was Vince Gill singing music.
Oh my God, you can't make this stuff up.
Oh, yeah,
very cool.
There you go.
We've got Fly for Tots coming up at my club for September 13th, I want to say it is. So I'll be putting out a feature for that.
Good.
That'll be in Raleigh.
All right. Awesome. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us. We're just going to keep on doing what we do.
Hey, make sure to get your gasoline pretty soon, because that hurricane's about to hit all the refineries in Galveston area. So it's going to make the price of gas go up. So go fill up.
Good times.
Especially if you buy that 10cc motor.
Way to tie it back in, Jim. Way to tie
bring it all around. I'm an 80s comedy.
That's good stuff.
All about it. All right. Thanks to Jason. Thanks to Matt. And thanks to Nikolai. And thanks to all of you, our live listeners and our non-live listeners. Just because you're not live doesn't make you worth any less. You're just the same as our live listeners, just later.
That's right.
Later to the party. All right. Well, we made it through without Matt Gunn saying anything I had to edit out, so that's exciting.
It was close. It was really close.
Show's not over.
There.
Show's not over there.
All right, everybody, you've been
There's still
watching
time.
RC Groups Live. Simmer down now, and I've got a new word that we're using in the house. I came downstairs with a cup of coffee early in the morning. My wife had just woken up, and I always say I stick my head in her office when I wake up with my coffee and go to my office, and she goes, "Goodbye." And then I looked at her and she goes, "I don't know why I just said that." So instead of hello, I've been saying goodbye. So hello, everyone.
Goodbye.
Joining us.
It's like the AOL guy.
Yeah, I was just saying that.
You've got mail.
You've got
Don't
mail.
And we're hemorrhaging viewers.
Okay. That was pretty good, right? That was pretty good.
That was.
Shut her down now.
Shut her down now.
In 3, 2. Oh, I was hoping you would do it.
But
Well, Matt's obviously not going to pass gas for us, so we're out of here.